slash credit scorecard. Limitations apply. Our next guest is part of NBA history. In the history of the NBA, the greatest scoring duo off a bench is Montrezl Harrell and Lou Williams. Lou Williams is just crazy. He doesn't age. He found the basketball fountain of youth. The Clippers are one of the surprises of the NBA season. Our next guest is up for the most improved player. He was in that Chris Paul trade with the Rockets. He was a Rocket, came over to the Clippers, and has exceeded, I would imagine, all their expectations. A terrific young man, Montrezl Harrell. Let's bring him on the show from the Clips. Former Louisville Cardinal. You played with James Harden. You seem joyful. You seem happy to me. The Bob Marley shoes. You're playing for a team that's fun. I have an NBA scouting buddy. And I said, about 2 weeks ago, I said, tell me about the Clippers. He goes, hardest playing team in the league. Is it Doc Rivers? What is it?
I mean, honestly, I think it's a combination of, everything. The front office, the guys that we have in the locker room, we play with the right spirit. And, it definitely starts with the front office with, Steve Ballmer, Doc, Jerry West, the guys that we have in the front office. And then it, comes down to the players and, me, Pat, Lou, Gallo, veteran guys. And, it goes with just the spirit and the flow of how we play, really. We just wanted to build this kind of mindset and just be these type of, hard-nosed, tough, competing team. Even in training camp is what we said.
16.7 rebounds. It's interesting. I've said this to Joy before. Fans don't understand what it's like to be traded. So if I work for a company and they're like, listen, we're trading you to this other company. And I'd be like, you don't love me? I work hard. When you got traded from the Rockets to the Clippers, is there part of you that's like, I thought I was your guy? What is it? Now, by the way, the Rockets were a good team. People thought they could win the championship. You think you're all in on this team. You go from Louisville. You're all ACC. You go to the Rockets. They tell you they love you. And then one day you wake up, you're out. Did it hurt?
Not necessarily saying that it hurt. It definitely kind of came as a shock because, when it first, it's kind of crazy because the trade happened like twice. When it first came out, I wasn't a part of the deal. And then when it actually was finalized, I was. And, it was just kind of one of those things that I didn't really know. But at the same time, I just look at it as another opportunity because, at the same time, everybody in the NBA knows that they had the chance to be traded unless you're just one of those top-tier guys who kind of sets their destination, really, But other than that, everybody has the opportunity and the chance to be traded. You just got to understand and know that it comes with the game.
It's really interesting. So you've had 3 high-profile coaches. You have Rick Pitino, defense, press, intense. And then you go to Mike D'Antoni, offense,
right?
Move the ball.
Right.
Then you go to Doc Rivers, and kind of a veteran guy, players like him, players coach. What does Doc do differently or that really connects with you? Because you're playing your best basketball of your life.
Just the teaching, a lot of wisdom, because you have a coach that knows what it takes to get to that finals and also win that finals, So he definitely knows what he's talking about, but at the same time, he doesn't, take anything off one player. He doesn't, let any one player slide no matter who you are.
So he's tough on people.
Yeah, he doesn't care, who you are. He was in the locker room with his own son, and at the same time, you never really knew it was a father-son relationship. But at the same time, it was coach-player, and that's
when's the last time he barked at you?
Last night.
What did he yell at you?
I had to toughen up. I kind of gave up like 2-3 buckets in a row, and then after that,
he yelled at you.
Yeah. So it comes with the game. It comes with coaching, but that's what I want, man. I know somebody that's gonna, be there to coach me. I've been around coaches that's been that way my whole career. Definitely in Coach Pitino, because
he's a barker.
100%. So I know how it goes. But that's what I want because it goes to show you that it's a coach that is not going to steer you wrong.
When there's a lot of rumors about, free agents, you hear the Kawhi Leonard stuff, and LeBron lands with the Lakers. And, it's funny. You played with James Harden, and he was a star. And right now you're a team that people don't perceive as having a star, but a bunch of good players who play their butts off.
Right.
When you do play with a star like James Harden, is the locker room different?
I would say it is, definitely, because, when you're going into the game with, that high caliber as a player, you almost kind of know who's going to be doing what on the floor. You know, as when you go into our locker room, you don't really know who's going to have a crazy night.
Night to night.
Yeah, and I think that's the best thing about us. You know, I think we more so look at it as a positive because when you're going into a game like we was with Houston, 10 times out of 10, you know, James is going to be the focal point. He's going to be the scouting report. He's going to be the guy that they're trying to take away. And then, you know, have guys on the team that's got to try to feed off of that. As far as us going into the locker room with the Clippers, you don't know who's going to have a big night.
Lou Williams had a huge night the other night.
Right.
You had a 32-point night.
Right. You don't know who you can take away. I mean, that's the best thing about it is because, you know, we are coming in with the right mindset, the right spirit, that we're going to play the right way, and we're just going to play Clippers basketball.
So, Joey and I have been talking. There was an ugly incident between Russell Westbrook and a fan in Utah, and the NBA immediately and the Jazz, by the way, both said it was racial. He's out of the arena. I was critical of the NBA yesterday. I think they've sold too many seats next to you. In baseball and football, fans are away. In hockey, there's glass.
Right.
In the NBA, I mean, fans are on top of you.
Right.
And I think there should be, and the NBA years and years ago made a decision to push broadcasters upstairs and sell stuff right on the floor. That used to be, when you watch an old NBA game from the 70s and 80s, those seats were not taken. They were for ads.
Right.
Do you think sometimes fans are too close? You hear heckling all the time. Are you ever uncomfortable with things that are said to you?
I definitely am. You know, Russell Westbrook is not the only player who's definitely been in the incident out there. I've been in one myself this year.
When a fan said inappropriate stuff?
Yes, and then, you know, to the point where he even went as far as to kind of like try to spit on me, and that's where, you know, I ended up in the stands and that altercation came about, you know, because at the same time, man, you got to understand it's a privilege. I mean, the game is already over, so all the talking and jawing, like, you know, let it go, man. We're on the way back to our locker room, but when you physically do something to a player or you go beyond the lines of, you know, bringing a loved one into somebody's family, like, you got to understand these are privileges for these guys to be sitting in these seats. So at the same time, when you're talking and trying to get at guys and say different things to get under their skin, at the same time, you got to understand we're grown men, we're adults at the same time. Our job is the game of basketball, but at the same time, we have a life outside of basketball. That's what I'm saying.
By the way, have you ever gotten into little sparring matches with the fans that are funny?
Right.
Have there ever been times where fans go back at you?
Yeah. I mean, it's not always things that are negative or, you know, things that are just trying to, you know, just take away from things that don't got anything to do with the game. You know, there's definitely some fans out there that you can laugh and joke with and go back and forth with. So it's not always bad, but it has been some bad incidents.
Okay, so you have a chance to win the most improved player, and you and Lou Williams are potentially going to break an NBA record, the best duo off a bench. Now, for a lot of guys, you started in high school, you started in AU, you started in college. Is it different starting a game on a bench? Does it bother you to some degree that you're a 17-7 guy and you're coming off the bench? Would you rather start?
Well, I mean, the craziest thing is I haven't been one of those guys who's always starting, you know. So,
really?
Yeah, even in high school, probably was the last time I probably did starting.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't really start until my Louisville career to late on, probably like my sophomore year, and then I started my junior year. But I wasn't always starting.
And you're underappreciated.
I mean, hey, you know, it comes with the game, man. I take it as a chip on my shoulder and use it every night I go out here and play, you know. So I've been in these positions before. I definitely think I learned a lot more how to deal with it with my teammate and Lou, because he's a guy who definitely been going to a lot of organizations and started. And
oh, God, Lou Williams bounced around the league.
He
was on the Lakers not too long ago. They gave him up.
Right.
They would die for Lou Williams today.
They gave him up on the Lakers. He came to us with Houston for like 2 months, and then he ended up out here in LA with me again, you know. So,
he's crazy good.
Yeah, and I definitely think it's a guy, like I said, who can definitely be on the team in the NBA and definitely be starting. But he's been playing that six-man role, coming off the bench, and, you know, he's thrived in it, honestly. So he's definitely given me a lot of key points on how to basically handle it as a pro. And, you know, it doesn't really matter on what time and point you go in the game, you know, or who starts out the game. At the same time, it's about doing anything you can just to put our team in position to win it.
Well, you know what? It's a great message that you are an NBA player averaging 16 and a half and 7 and have struggled to start since high school. That's a fantastic. You know, everybody thinks everybody's a superstar, and I love hearing stories like that.
Oh yeah.
And I even like the doc yelled at you, and you're okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, it all comes with the game, man. It's all a learning experience. You know, everything you go through, everything that you do in life, you know, it's always taken as a learning experience. So I've been around a lot of coaches, a lot of players, a lot of learning situations that I can just apply into my life, and I've learned from them, you know, and I just try to get better each day as a player, as a man, as a father.
Great stuff, man.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely great meeting you.
Thank you.
Joy with the news.